In the world of cyber-espionage, some threats are loud, obvious, impossible to ignore. Ransomware that locks entire cities out of their own systems, hospitals forced offline, surgeries delayed, lives put at risk. Worms that spread uncontrollably, crippling infrastructure in minutes. Attacks that dominate headlines and trigger emergency meetings around the world. Those threats announce themselves. But some threats prefer silence. They don't crash systems. They don't demand payment. They don't leave messages. They watch, quietly, patiently, methodically. And they are often the most dangerous of all. This is the story of one of the most advanced cyber-espionage tools ever discovered. A piece of malware so sophisticated that it remained completely hidden for more than 5 years. 5 years of uninterrupted access. 5 years of silent observation. 5 years of stolen intelligence without a single alert being raised. A threat actor so careful that every infection looked entirely different from the last. And a program so modular, so adaptive, so unpredictable, that even today, years after its discovery, analysts still don't fully understand it. This malware didn't just infect machines. It rewrote itself on every system it touched. A digital ghost, a shape-shifting spy. Codename: the most advanced modular espionage platform you've probably never heard of. To understand what made this malware extraordinary, we need to step back and look at the world of cyber-espionage itself. Most malware is predictable. It has signatures, patterns, fragments of code that repeat across infections. Even when it's encrypted or heavily obfuscated, there are always clues, subtle hints that reveal who built it, how it works, or what its mission is. Security companies depend on these clues. They scan files, inspect memory, monitor network traffic, compare behavior against vast databases of known threats. That's how most malware is caught. But what happens when the malware never looks the same twice? What happens when it rebuilds itself from the ground up every single time it's deployed? When it restructures its modules, renames its components, rearranges its code paths, and leaves behind no consistent fingerprint? That's exactly what this espionage platform did. Every infection came with a different configuration, different modules, different cryptographic hashes, different file names, different behavior patterns, different command and control infrastructure. From the outside, each case looked unrelated, like separate attacks, by separate actors, with separate tools. It was like trying to track a spy who changed their face, their name, and their accent every single morning. Investigators would later confirm something unprecedented. This malware had no static version. There was no version 1.0, no version 2.0, no master copy. Every deployment was custom built for its specific target. Every piece of code was rearranged, rewritten, and recompiled before delivery, specifically to avoid detection. This technique is known as polymorphism. But this wasn't basic polymorphism. This was polymorphism taken to an extreme. At its core was a highly advanced modular architecture, one that allowed attackers to load and unload capabilities like interchangeable parts. Want to steal documents? Load the file exfiltration module. Want to capture keystrokes? Load the keylogger. Want to activate the microphone and listen to conversations in the room? Load the acoustic surveillance module. Want to disable security tools or evade forensic analysis? Load the anti-analysis module. Each module existed only when needed. Once its task was complete, it was removed, leaving behind almost no trace, no suspicious files, no obvious artifacts, no reliable evidence. This malware didn't behave like a smash-and-grab operation. It didn't rush. It didn't spread recklessly. It lived inside its targets. Quietly, patiently, listening, watching, learning. It studied user behavior, mapped networks, cataloged files, tracked credentials, waiting for the right moment. And the targets were anything but random. Diplomatic offices, research institutions, telecommunications providers, energy companies, government networks, organizations involved in highly sensitive negotiations. These were places where information didn't just have value, it had consequences. This was not the work of amateurs, and it wasn't cybercrime for profit. This was the work of a highly skilled, well-funded, state-level threat actor. But what truly stunned investigators wasn't just the modularity, or the encryption, or the stealth, or even the fact that it remained undetected for more than 5 years. What shocked them most was how human it behaved. Most espionage malware is fire and forget. It infects a system, collects whatever it can, and sends the data home. This malware didn't do that. It waited, sometimes for months, sometimes for years. It stayed dormant until very specific conditions were met. A particular file appearing on the system, a specific username logging in, a certain USB device being connected, a confidential document being opened or edited. Only then did it activate. It didn't want everything. It wanted something precise, something targeted, something valuable enough to justify years of silence. Even more disturbing, it didn't spread automatically. There was no uncontrolled lateral movement, no noisy propagation. It moved only when instructed. Every action followed human direction. This wasn't an automated botnet. This was a human-guided intelligence operation. Operators were watching, deciding, choosing when and when not to act. Eventually, analysts discovered something even more alarming. The malware had been quietly operating across multiple countries, different regions, different networks, different political contexts. But how did it remain invisible for so long? The answer lies in how perfectly it blended in. It hijacked legitimate system processes, disguised itself as routine network traffic, mimicked the behavior of trusted applications. Its command and control servers didn't look suspicious. They used normal-looking internet traffic, the kind seen in daily business operations. And because every infection was unique, security tools couldn't connect the dots. There was no shared signature, no shared codebase, no shared infrastructure. It was like finding fingerprints from the same person. Except each fingerprint had been sanded down and redrawn. Only after analysts manually compared dozens of infections, line by line, module by module, did the truth finally emerge. These weren't different malware families. They were all the same, just transformed. A single platform, wearing hundreds of different disguises. A digital shapeshifter hiding across continents. As researchers continued their investigation, the full scope of its capabilities came into focus. Rootkit functions that allowed it to hide deep within the operating system. Reconnaissance tools that cataloged every file, device, and credential. Modules for keylogging, screenshot capture, microphone activation, and document theft. It could move across networks using stolen credentials, quietly, invisibly. It survived system reboots, reinstalled itself if removed, bypassed antivirus solutions entirely, and when its mission was complete, it erased itself flawlessly. No crash, no trace, no evidence. The perfect spy. But perhaps the most chilling discovery was this. Even when command and control servers were taken offline, the malware didn't stop. It continued surveillance, continued collecting, continued hiding, completely autonomous. Until it reconnected to a new server, one that could be set up anywhere in the world. A self-sufficient espionage agent. To this day, investigators don't know exactly how it was deployed. Some believe spear phishing. Others suspect supply chain compromise. Some suggest physical access by trained operatives. What they do know is this: the attackers were disciplined, focused, and extraordinarily patient. This wasn't about headlines, or chaos, or destruction. It was about intelligence. Silent, long-term, strategic intelligence. The kind used to influence negotiations, shape policy, and alter geopolitical outcomes, without anyone ever realizing it happened. So what happened when the malware was finally discovered? Security companies quietly alerted governments. Infrastructure providers were told to isolate systems. National cybersecurity teams launched investigations. But there's an unsettling question that still remains. If malware like this can remain hidden for more than 5 years, what else is out there right now? Watching, listening, waiting, undetected. No nation has claimed responsibility. No group has been publicly identified. No arrests were made. No official attribution was ever confirmed. Like a ghost, the malware vanished once exposed. Its infrastructure went dark. The servers were wiped. The operators disappeared. But experts believe the team behind it is still active today, using newer tools, more advanced techniques, even greater stealth. Because cyber-espionage doesn't stop. It evolves. It adapts. It rewrites itself. Just like the malware at the center of this story. A digital spy that changed its identity on every system it touched. A threat that lived in the shadows for half a decade. And a reminder that the most dangerous malware isn't the one that makes noise. It's the one you never notice. This was the story of the malware that rewrote itself. The shape-shifting ghost of cyberspace. And somewhere deep inside a secure facility, its creators are likely watching, preparing the next evolution.